Disclaimer, this video is for the purpose of critique and entertainment. I am not in any shape or form trying to endorse any unnecessary hate or unwarranted harassment towards vivziepop, the Helluva cast and crew, or anyone within the fanbase. Hating on the show, the creator, the staff, the actors, and people who like the show for homophobic, racist, misogynistic, and delusional reasons are not okay, and I do not want that in my community. Do not go out of your way to harass anybody who works on the show or anyone who is in the fandom that enjoys the show. That type of behavior is unacceptable and it will not be tolerated.
If you're watching this video, please know going in that you are going to be spoiled. If you have not seen Helluva Boss's Season 2 finale Miss, you're going to get spoiled by watching this video, although I'm pretty sure you were spoiled by already reading the title. This is something that should be common knowledge by now, considering how long it's been since the episode got uploaded. I've been meaning to make a few videos after the Season 2 finale of Helluva Boss was uploaded to vivziepop's YouTube channel. I've just been distracted with trying to go back and make different content so my channel can return to being a little more diverse. After making exclusive Helluva Boss content for I forgot how long I was at it. It just really burnt me out and I just stopped uploading for a while for a real long time. So I'm just trying to go back to making my channel a little more diverse. By the way, if you guys want to hang out with me, I stream every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time Zone on YouTube. As long as the weather doesn't knock out my internet connection. I love having conversations with my chat while we just hang out and play video games. So if you're going to subscribe, make sure you turn that bell notification on so you don't miss out when I stream. Hello my lovelies, welcome to the channel where I discuss minority hyperfixations or topics I generally wish to discuss. For the topic of this video, it's something I've been sitting on for a while ever since the Season 2 finale of Helluva Boss was uploaded, where it was revealed Millie is pregnant. Upon the reveal of the pregnancy, of course, there were plenty of people really hyped and excited and they want to meet Millie's new baby, but there's also been some really gross headcanons that she cheated on Moxie, or even worse, she cheated on Moxie with her trans sister and Sally Mae as the father. Firstly, y'all are gross for even entertaining the idea. The quick assumption that Millie cheated in general just shows us how pregnancy is so overly romanticized. If a woman finds out she's pregnant, she's only supposed to be happy and joyous. If she feels anything that's not joy, it must mean that she cheated on her man and her affair is going to be exposed. Or y'all can just be really messy and just want drama for the sake of tea being spilled. But seriously, people just jumping straight into assuming Millie cheated. Like, there is so much when it comes to the misogyny that needs to be unpacked, but I'll do that later. First and foremost, I want to get my thoughts and feelings out of the way when it comes to the reveal. I am not remotely excited about Millie's pregnancy when it comes to Season 3, and my reasons for not being excited is mostly due to the fact when it comes to a lot of people who don't know how to write female characters or how to give them any character development, there are like some really cheap cop-outs to put a female character through and just call it character growth. For the past few years, fans have really been frustrated that Millie doesn't seem to have any character development or a character at all outside of being Moxie's supportive wife, being the one who rescues him and uplifts him. Basically, it seems like Millie has just been nothing more than an accessory to her husband, and her life just revolves around her relationship with her husband. In fact, Millie getting pregnant seems like something a vivziepop hater would accuse her of writing as a means of proving she's like misogynistic, hating her own female characters. When it comes to the cheap cop-outs I mentioned earlier, these are just common tropes I see mostly men will use to progress a female character. Number 1, infidelity in her relationship where she gets cheated on or she gets caught cheating, and it just explores the hurdles of how she moves on for being cheated on or she makes amends for the cheating. Number 2, she has daddy issues. The female character and her father work through their issues and become the best friends that they never were or they used to be when she was a lot younger. She is a survivor of domestic abuse at the hands of her male partner. Her growth still surrounds the abusive partner and her new supporting male love interest as she focuses on escaping and moving on with her life. Her character development being anchored by these two men. Number 4, she gets pregnant because that in itself was a roller coaster of character development apparently. At least when it comes to teenager and young women characters, those seem to be the absolute most common female character progression cliches I've noticed over the years consuming fiction. It's always very common to use relationships with a male figure such as a partner or a father and a child being used as a device for a female character to get some growth. Now I'm not saying that pregnancy arcs are a bad thing, but I don't think vivziepop can execute a good one because let's be honest, pregnancy arcs are almost like never any good. They are almost exclusively used when the writers just don't know what to do with the female character. Hey, real quick before I continue with the video, I just want to say if you find yourself enjoying the video so far, make sure you press that like button just to let me know. Not only does it help with the algorithm, but it's encouraging to see how many people like the videos I make, which is motivation to help me like continue making the content you enjoy. Alright, getting back to the video. Alrighty, so one thing I'm going to admit, I used to be such an apologist for Hell of a Boss, where I was just overthinking and over-rationalizing what I now see was just bad writing choices. I mean, I literally made a video pretty much telling people right when season 2 started just to wait and see how the season's going to play out, and you'll get the character development you guys want so badly for Millie. Yeah, that video aged like milk, and I feel like it's going to straight up curdle by the end of season 3. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep these videos up. Let's normalize not hiding the fact our opinions over media changes. It's part of the human experience. We change, our tastes develop, regrow. You guys remember how a couple minutes ago I brought up how people accused Millie of cheating on her husband and the baby isn't even Moxie's because she didn't react joyous at finding out that she's pregnant? Because apparently that's the only possible reason she has to be concerned about being pregnant. Millie has plenty of valid reasons for why pregnancy would be freaking her out. That doesn't involve her non-existent affair being exposed. Let's take a moment to go back and look at season 2 episode 10, the scene where Millie reminisces over her first time meeting with Blitz and how meeting him has made her life infinitely better. Millie was at a low point. She was angry and not happy with the direction her life is going in, especially considering she was in between jobs. Rathians like imps who become assassins are like 10 a penny. They are so common. That career path is pretty much a cliche for them because there's no other opportunity for an imp to be anything outside of hired muscle or farmers that grow food for the rest of hell. It wasn't until after she started working for Blitz and you really pay attention to her character, you can see Millie still has that exact mindset when visiting the office for the first time. Millie says that they don't deserve this because they were simply born imps. They're just muscle. The only thing her kind is good for, the only thing she believes that she is good at. Millie was trapped in the mindset that all her existence is supposed to be, her only option was to be a simple farm girl or a hired goon. Which is believable when it comes to how hell is structured and the social hierarchy within vivziepop shows. Imps are like suppressed in society where they don't have a lot of options for like successful careers. Obviously, she grew out of that mindset working for IMP. She was able to finally look beyond the horizon and realize that she's more than that. She loves her job and she's extremely proud of her career. She is happy. She got a job that she's extremely proud of, and through it, Millie was able to get a husband and a best friend. Now, at the time of me uploading this, we don't know for sure, but it's safe to bet that Millie is most likely scared that with this pregnancy, she's not going to be able to keep the job and continue the work that she is so proud of. Now, I know some people are going to say this, even if Moxie would be a stay-at-home, like full-time dad with the newborn, so Millie can go back to working full-time after she's recuperated from giving birth, there's still the financial problem. In the beginning of Mastermind, Blitz has 4 people who are interested in working for his company where he admits he just doesn't have the money to pay them. Also, let's not forget that countless times people have crashed through and broke the wall to the office and other damages being done to the office. IMP doesn't seem to be profiting that well to begin with, on top of how much money is being funneled into repairs, and Blitz buying a bunch of stupid shit because horses. So for Moxie and Millie, assuming they get individual pay, that's probably enough that helps them live a comfortable life in their small apartment. But with the added finances of a newborn baby and one parent working, that's probably not going to be enough. Considering how close Millie and Blitz seem to be, I'm not going to sit here and say that Blitz is going to be some uncaring dirtbag over this. With how much he's a third wheel in their relationship, I'm pretty sure he will try to like give them extra money to help them out, to like get invested in their pregnancy, but I'm pretty sure Millie would be a little too proud to accept it. So even though we don't know exactly what's going on through Millie's head at the time of posting this video, Millie is probably concerned about her job and possibility of future financial struggles once the baby is born. If not, she's probably worried how Moxie might react. Since that seems to be most likely a scenario of concerns going on in her head after seeing Millie just break down after seeing the positive pregnancy test. We all know that there's no doubt her husband is going to be very happy, and that doesn't make Millie a bad person for having any worry about Moxie's reaction when he learns that she's pregnant. We really don't know much about the relationship. The timeline is pretty shaky and not like clearly written out for us, but I'm under the impression that shortly after Millie joins Blitz's company, she and Moxie started dating and then must have gotten married pretty soon after they started dating. It's not hard to see that these two are very passionate, so they probably just jumped into getting married like really quickly after dating for a short time. With that in mind, and them still technically being newlyweds, only having celebrated their first year anniversary, they probably didn't talk a lot about the future of their relationship, especially when it comes to having kids. So there's that uncertainty that's obviously going to have Millie freaking out. And once again, that's something we're not going to be sure about about until the 3rd season touches on Millie's pregnancy arc. I mean, it's likely, and I hope the relationship history does get brought up. As in, did they ever talk about having kids? Did they agree to, like, not have kids, just be, like, child-free? When they did talk about kids, did they agree that they do want to be parents, but currently they're just not in the place to have them right now, and that's something for later down the road? Which, that last point just brings up the whole not having resources to take care of a child in their current living situation. With that being said, yeah, there's plenty of reasons for Millie to be anxious about when it comes to getting pregnant. I still find this whole she cheated on her husband and that's why she's scared just like really, really dumb. Now, to get into my main reasons why I'm not excited about this pregnancy arc, I'm worried that Millie's pregnancy is not going to be about her. I mean, in the show, we saw how her first reaction was to be concerned about Moxie's feelings. She wasn't concerned about her family, she wasn't concerned about herself, she was scared and worried about Moxie. There is something I have noticed with this fan base having a serious issue. In order to validate how strongly on why they hate how a character reacts to something, the fan base seems to have this like habit of self-inserting themselves and declaring how they would react if they were in that character situation. This is why I say if you have not personally lived through something, don't act like you're better based on hypotheticals. And if you have lived through a same scenario, don't act like your personal life experience is the standard of how everybody else is supposed to live through it. Your story is not their story. You do not know what they're going through, and even if by comparison you did have it worse, the other person is still valid for how they feel within their own situation that they are currently living through. They don't need bystanders making them feel guilty for not taking it on the chin and sucking it up. With that little lesson on empathy just pushed to the side, in regards to Millie prioritizing Moxie's feeling above her own, I just hope this is not foreshadowing that her pregnancy is just going to be a story arc that uplifts and progresses Moxie's character, when we've already had that a few times within the show. Of course, it is possible for a character to gain progression through a different character. We've seen it enough with Moxie, and I don't want the roles reversed just for Millie. I want her to have her own character progression that doesn't rely on Moxie being the device for her own growth. But Renee, how is Millie's pregnancy not going to be about her, I hear you ask? One way I can see this pregnancy arc just being more about Moxie is something my friend actually pointed out. Crimson, Moxie's father, a character that we met back in Season 2, Episode 3. Crimson is a mafia boss that does not remotely like his son because he views Moxie as a complete failure. Somebody he definitely does not see taking over the family business like he was supposed to before running off with Blitz. When it comes to the mafia, they normally take a great interest when learning there's going to be a new addition to the family, either through marriage or because the family lineage is getting a new addition through somebody having a child. If that mafia trope gets played out and Crimson catches wind his daughter-in-law is pregnant, even more so, it's confirmed she's having a boy, I can see him taking interest in his grandson and wanting to raise him to be groomed to take the position Moxie ran away from. This is one of the reasons why I'm not looking forward to the pregnancy and how it's going to be treated. I don't want Millie to be a damsel in distress because her father-in-law kidnapped her or he wants to try to take the kid. That entire hypothetical plotline would clearly be used to further Moxie's character. I understand how some people will agree with me that Millie's maternal instincts will kick in and it would make her better come to terms with becoming a mother. That's what I mean by common female character progression cliches. Can we get some character growth and development that doesn't involve anything to do with motherhood, relationships with a significant other, or relationship issues with a father being the reason how she can overcome like whatever struggles to be a better character? Also, just to say really quick before I get any of these comments, no, it's not that I don't want Millie to be pregnant or I think it's a bad idea for her to become a mother. I'm just worried with how it's going to be handled. I'm just worried how Millie's pregnancy is going to be treated. I don't want it to be some type of plot device or some way to uplift other characters that's not her. This pregnancy should be about Millie. It should not be a character growth for anybody else besides her. And I definitely don't want some weird fanfiction situation where Blitz just gets overly invested. Just thinking back to how he's already invested in Moxie and Millie's relationship, with how often he spies on them, he tries in any shape or form to be a part of it and just insert himself, even sleeping with their shared ex-boyfriend. Yeah, I don't want Blitz doing that and some weird stupid side plot where Luna for some reason feels really jealous or hurt Blitz cares more about Millie's unborn child than her. One thing really quick just to remind people, the fanbase does have the biggest complaint about Millie and how there's just nothing more for her character outside of being a wife. That she's just an accessory to Moxie and the only thing that matters to her is her relationship. Her being pregnant literally just leans into that, which is why I'm not looking forward to her pregnancy. As I keep saying, I'm concerned with how it's going to revolve around Moxie. I mean, for a long time now, it's always been an ongoing joke within the fanbase that vivziepop doesn't know how to write female characters, or she just straight up hates her female characters because she's a misogynist. Rewatching this show multiple times for reviews, I'm starting to see that, especially within season 2. At some point, it's going to be less of a joke within the fan base or the hate-dom and just become the truth at this point. And I'm asking this with sincerity, how is Millie getting pregnant really going to make her a better character? It just seems like this is going to be another plot to uplift Moxie and further develop his character, as I keep mentioning, because this is the pattern we've seen so far within the show. This pregnancy should, and I hope it is in season 3, be all about Millie and not any other character. Motherhood is something that is extremely nuanced, something to get invested in, but it's hard to do that when we really just don't know who the character is. As of season 2, so far we only got 2 characters that explore who she is, and they were not written by the show's creators. Unhappy Campers, we do get this insecurity she supposedly always had, but it was never brought up prior, making it feel just forced into the show, just for the sake of causing relationship drama between Millie and Moxie. And I stand on that because these insecurities are never brought up again. For all I know, maybe season 3 will surprise me. I am curious how characters are going to react to the news when they learn Millie is pregnant. Do I think Millie will get a good support system? Absolutely, and I would really love it if Stolas actually talked to her. There are so many character interaction combinations that have yet to happen within the show. I would absolutely love it if Stolas actually talked to Millie about first-time parenthood concerns. If vivziepop would follow show don't tell, we could actually get some flashbacks with Stolas as he's reminiscing his nervousness when he learned he was going to be a father. He could try to relate to Millie on that level so she could feel comfort in knowing somebody understands what she's going through and how she feels, that this is actually normal for first-time parents. This conversation between Stolas and Millie could absolutely be so cute and also help Millie understand that, again, this is natural when it comes to first-time parents, that her feelings are not a bad omen, she's going to reject or hate her child. If done right, I think this will just be a very absolutely heartfelt and adorable conversation. And by done right, I'm talking about leave Millie in the spotlight, don't shift it over to Stolas trying to reach out to Octavia, or Stolas and Blitz go off to the side and talk about how Stolas is wanting to try to reconnect with his daughter and reach out to her again. This is Millie's moment. It's not his. He can try to reach out to Octavia in a different episode, not right after having that talk with Millie. Other things I want to bring up after the pregnancy reveal, I'm surprised that there's a lot of people that want Millie to get an abortion. I do see miscarriage being floating around, but it's not brought up as often as I see people wanting Millie to get an abortion. I've actually listened to people who think that getting an abortion would be a good direction, and I can see where they're coming from, especially in regards to wanting to normalize situations where women getting an abortion shouldn't be demonized and just seen as evil for doing so. However, abortion is extremely complicated and nuanced. I don't think Helva Boss is a decent enough show to explore that type of avenue. Now, I do agree that type of representation is important, but I don't think Helva Boss is the place for that. Now, there's one thing I would absolutely get annoyed with. If it turns out the pregnancy test was a false positive reading, that is going to be the most bullshit, we wrote ourselves into a corner and don't know what we are doing cop-out. I don't think they're going to do that because a cute baby would just mean more merchandise they can sell. I already have so many issues with season 2 just with how aimless the show's direction was, including how so many things were set up only to get wrapped up in a blink and you miss it cop-out or was just swept under the rug and forgotten about. Anywho's it, that's all my thoughts and opinions about Millie being pregnant. If you have some of your own, feel free to express those in the comment section down below. If you guys want to hang out with me, as I said at the beginning of the video, I do live streams every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, as long as my internet connection is good. The live streams aren't really anything special, we just hang out and talk over video games. If you subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn on that notification bell so you're alerted each time I upload or when I go live, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye!